The Vögele Super 2100 tracked paver can have a screed width of up to 13 metres and can lay up to 1100 tonnes of material per hour. This version of the paver is in the colours of Eurovia, which is part of the Vancy group, and it comes in a large branded box. The first thing you find when you open the box is a neat reprint of a Vögele brochure, and this is very good because it's got detailed technical information about the real machine and plenty of photos as well. And it would be really good if information like this was a standard inclusion with every construction model. Turning to the box itself, it is surprisingly large, and when you look underneath there's another surprise, which is that a tyre has been used to keep the model in place, and the reason is that this model is fully assembled with a 13 metre scale screed. Anyway, the good news is that undoing the tyre isn't too much of a problem, and when you've released it you can then just lift the model out, and it's not too much of a difficulty either to remove the tyre from around the model. You just have to be careful you don't snag something and inadvertently pull it and break the model. After removing one last piece of packaging, the model is ready to display. In terms of detail, there's not too much to see underneath other than the rubber tracks have a segmented pattern. And it's interesting that the underside of the model is marked with model number 670 and 671. The rubber tracks are mounted on fairly simple looking track frames. And at the front the belt hopper is metal, and there are a couple of roller guides for a tipper truck. The Eurovia graphics are simple but they look good, and there are some nice grills on the side of the body. The operator's area is very good, there are metal handrails and a good textured floor. And the operator's console is minutely detailed with little joysticks. The long screed is supported by plastic ties, but there is a metal material screw, and the footways have nice texturing. And at each end of the screed there is another one of those really small but well detailed consoles. Here's a couple of Eurovia guys discussing how they like a long screw. And here's two more talking about the size of something. The canopy has a retractable roof for transport, but you can't really display it as a transport load because the screed is fixed. The hopper sides open and close, and the rubber tracks roll reasonably well in a straight line. You can't really force the model to steer though, because the rubber tracks will just come off of the sprockets and idlers. Moving on to the paving end of things, and the screed is all metal, so it is actually quite heavy, but even so the cylinders that control the screed are strong enough and stiff enough to hold the screed in any position that you want, and it can go up and down. And there's some adjustment at the end, you can get a bit of extra width on each end. To give the operator a better view forwards, the seats on both sides fold out, and if it's raining or too sunny you can also open up the canopy. The machine can be operated from either side, so the operator's console is on a rail so it slides from side to side. And when you're done laying the black stuff you can fold it all in again. And one good aspect of this model is that if you get some Eurovia figures and also other models, you can join them all up and make a reasonably convincing roadworks display. This is another very well made Vögele paver model by NZG. The details are good and the features are good too. It's a little unusual for a paver model because of its large size, but it makes an impressive display when posed with other models. Overall, it's highly recommended.